Right, here we are. King Kenny. It's an absolute pleasure. Oh no, sorry, it's bright. Let me turn it down. You know what? Bright lights for bright stars.
Oh yeah. Okay, now keep it on now. Keep it on.
Listen, welcome back. Always a pleasure. You go in the ring against Anthony Taylor. Talk to me about this fight.
So yeah, this is gonna be a tough fight. AT's got fight experience, but obviously, we're gonna be well prepared for this fight. We've trained hard, we've got the right sparring to imitate his style. It's gonna be in for a shock.
We talk about Anthony Taylor, and the first thing you could say is the height difference. There is a massive height difference between the two of you. We talk about taking advantage. How do you intend to take advantage of him? Because we've seen him really get in there and win fights that we thought he weren't going to win.
Well, at the end of the day, when AT comes up against someone who boxes, he struggles. And his game plan, I'll tell you now what his game plan is going to be. He's just going to try to scrap me. And that would be his worst mistake because he's going to really struggle to get me.
Any clues to what you've got up your sleeve to him? Is there one thing that you can tell me that you're going to attack with him?
Sorry?
Is there one thing from your plan that you can tell me that you can do to him? Don't give me the whole plan. But all right then, I'll rephrase it. What attribute of his do you intend to take away from him?
I would say him coming forward. I'm going to take that away from him. He's going to be very shocked.
We like it. It'd be good to see him under pressure. I remember his last fight, like I said, everyone was shocked. But you coming back, getting these wins, we've seen you on Kingpin. You've been actually all over the place.
Yeah. I've been I'm just having fun in this fight game, man, because no one knows how long this influencer game's going to last, so I'm taking all these fights, having fun, and making money at the same time, so making my brother proud, making my family proud, so I'm just having fun in this.
Activity is key, but you touched on something there. You don't know how long this is going to be around. Something tells me that the Misfits boxing, I think we're kind of at the beginning of something that's going to last. Yes. You've been here from the start. Your thoughts?
So yeah, I think it's generally going to last for some time. As long as, Misfits keep making stars, people that can bring in external audience, numbers, it will last, man, because they're doing something that hasn't been done in boxing in a long time, and it's different, It's like a fresh air in boxing. Pro boxing is good, don't get me wrong. I watch pro boxing, I love it, but this is it's its own league. You know what I mean? It's like its own league.
So what are your thoughts then about professional boxers that are interested to come over to the Misfit side? Mam's already mentioned that he wants to set up a professional arm to Misfits boxing. Your thoughts on that, where we start to really mix the cards? Like every event that Misfits have, we have pro boxers on there as well. Your thoughts on that?
I think that would be good because then you got a combination of, both audiences. You got the influencer audience and then you got the pro boxing audience, and you fuse them together. As long as the matchups are not mimic matchups for the influencer side, it's people that you can tell that are taking it seriously. So the pro boxing fans don't look at it and be like, what the fuck is that? Do you know what I mean? So it's just the truth though.
You know what? It's nice to hear that somebody from your side of the table, even though I know you're surrounded by professional boxers, including your coach as well, but it's nice to actually see someone say, what is this? How can we take it seriously? So we've got to make sure that the matchmaking's on point.
Exactly, yeah. Matchmaking has to be on point so that when that, crossover does happen at some point, that pro boxing fans can look at the influencer fights and be like, oh, these guys can actually fight. They're actually training, to be good boxers. So that's where the respect comes in.
We love it. One of the things that we'd like to see, like I said, is mixing the cards up. But talk to me about your journey, how you found it. And I always thought that you'd be one of the boxers that would go pro, but selfishly, because I know that the money that's involved in Misfits, I've kind of said, you know what, you're probably best staying here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I was to go pro, it would have to be, smart matchups, because going pro is a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level of dedication. You're coming up against people, rounds. People have been doing it for a long time, so it would have to be smart matchmaking. I'm not going to go in there with someone who's been doing it since they're 5. Let's be real. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing about pro boxing, and somebody else has actually mentioned it, the experience counts for a lot. It's not necessarily how good you are, but it's that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Experience goes a long way in boxing, so I think when the time is right, obviously I'll talk to my team as well. We'll see if it's the right time to go pro. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
And finally, from yourself, being an influencer in boxing, a YouTuber, somebody that everybody knows, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned so far?
Ask me that again.
As an influencer, being involved in boxing, what's the biggest lesson, biggest thing that you've learned so far in your journey?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say it's not as easy as it looks. Being in the ring is different from watching it outside and watching it on TV. And it's a very, very hard sport, man. It's tough. Like, no matter how many camps I do, it will never, like people don't understand how hard it is to train for a fight, man. It's tough.
Well, from seeing you take your first sparring, get on those pads to see where you've come to now,
Yeah, for my first spar, I remember like around the first period. Yeah.
it's an absolute, well, it's a credit to yourself, it's a credit to your team to see how far you've come. Listen, King Kenny, as always, I wish you the best and I will see you October the 14th. Get that W, will you?
Of course, we're coming home with a W and the belt, baby.